All right, welcome to your 90-day profit plan. So super excited to support you guys in this. So look, your profit plan is an overview of what it is that you want to create over the course of the next 90 days and how you're going to create that income coming into your business. So for those of you inside of Activate Abundance, you know that we do this every single quarter. For those of you that are not inside my Activate Abundance program, and this is actually a training that I typically reserve only for my paid clients inside of my programs. This is the way that we can kind of take what our yearly goal is and we can chunk it down into 90-day increments because something really magical happens in 90 days. When we can take a look at what we want to do for a quarter and double down and go all in and stay focused on that instead of trying to figure out how we're going to hit the six-figure goal without having a direct structure and strategy behind it, it just works so much better here. So we're going to talk about a couple things today. We're going to talk about what it is that you want to create over the course of your 90 days. We're also going to talk about the strategies and the structure that's going to help you get there, and the belief systems that you need to have in place so that you are following through and showing up as the empowered six-figure leader that you already are. Okay, so we're going to kind of walk through this workbook with you. I've got it on my screen shared for you. Kyle also popped it in the chat for you. So if you want to download it on your computer, print it out, save it, totally fine. And here we go. So this is going to help you on your journey to creating success over the course of 90 days. And again, like I mentioned, one of the things that's really, really helped me in my business is chunking things down in 90 days. Because 90 days is a good period of time where when we're showing up and when we're taking consistent action on the strategy that we put together, things start happening. It gives us time to create new clients in our world, to create visibility in our world, and to be really focused on simple actions and especially inspired actions that are going to propel us forward. So that's why I love 90 days. It has been a game changer for me in my business instead of just trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do this month? Or what am I going to do this week? Or I don't know what I'm going to offer. I just know I need to make money, right? So it can be really confusing when we're first starting our business to try to figure out, okay, like, what am I going to offer? How am I going to actually create the income in my business right now? And so this is going to be a system, a container that's going to hold you so that you know what to do, when to do, and how to do it. So if that sounds good to you, pop yes in the chat for me. Awesome. So many of you know that we get to take a look at, and I know that this workbook says 3 years, but I really want you to take a look at this time next year. We want to start with the big picture. Why do we do that? Because we want to know where it is that we're going. It's like if I want to go to Starbucks and get a coffee, I need to know where it is that I want to go. If I just say that I want coffee, I need to know, all right, am I going to go to Starbucks? Am I going to go to Caribou Coffee? Am I going to go down the lobby and get some coffee? Like, where am I going? And so we need to know where we're going. So I want you all to just take a few moments. If you have the workbook, amazing. If you don't have the workbook, just grab a sheet of paper and a pencil or pen. And I want you to write down, take some time, think about this time next year. What will you be doing? What will things look like for you day to day in your business? What will you be doing? And what can you celebrate? So this is something that many of you might be familiar with. It's called a future pull. And when we take action, we're going to reverse engineer today our 90-day plan based on what it is that we want to create and what we want to already have had created over the course of the next year. Okay, so I'm going to pause the recording just for a moment, give you guys a few minutes to just kind of sink in to your heart and ask yourself, what would feel so incredible if that I could be celebrating this time next year? Awesome. So I would love to have some of you come off mute and just share with me, what would be something that you would celebrate? If it was this time next year and we're here again and I'm like, hey, tell me, how did it go? Like, let's celebrate. What are you celebrating? Tara, I'm going to pick on you because you always have amazing stuff to celebrate.
Thanks, Chris. I said this time next year, I have a full calendar with a weekly free talk scheduled in my calendar that brings people into a 6-week paid small group program. I have 5 one-on-one a full book with 5 one-on-one clients and a 6-month program that I'm initiating with also small group. And I feel so full and confident and excited about having an amazing life, an abundant life, and income flowing in steadily every month.
Woo! I love that. Yeah. Cool. Mars, what about you? What would it feel like? What would you be celebrating this time next year?
This time next year, I would be celebrating a pregnancy. So I'll be pregnant this time next year. So I'm celebrating having my coaching business bringing in consistent income, and I'm wanting to celebrate at least $100,000. I think that's a lot, but I want to stretch myself to do that because I want to also help to pay my dad's debt off because he needs help. He's had a lot of health issues and he's getting a knee surgery without insurance. So I'm going to help him pay that off. And my mom has been so helpful. I want to also give back to her. And throughout it all, I have a lot of free time and I'll have a lot of time to really nourish my body and my baby and just preparing for motherhood. So
amazing.
Yeah.
I love that so much. One thing that I would get a little bit more clear on is, what does the consistent income look like? So when we keep that consistent, like, is it consistently quarterly income? Is it consistent monthly income? So, if we would break it down, I believe 6 figures is $8,333 or something like that a month. So,
yeah, I think a quarterly would look a little bit easier.
Yeah. That way there's not so much pressure on, I got to hit the number this month. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mars. Sarah, what about you?
All right. I have to unmute myself. So I just started because I was, hoping I'd print the thing out. But the very first thing I said that is I'm living part-time at my little waterfront cottage. Ooh. And yep, because that's my dream, because I'm making enough money now to be able to have that dream, right? And so when I'm looking at it, I don't even have to have it written down. So when I'm looking ahead, I've got, 7 one-on-one clients, but I'm running a couple of small group programs, both focused on nutrition, but also kind of that whole lifestyle. In a year from now, I see my brick and mortar likely not in my hands anymore. And that's a kind of a freeing feeling, right? Although I love it, I know that it's well taken care of, but I have the ability to travel and to work from wherever I want.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we can homeschool from anywhere still. There's just more time. More time is what I see in the vision.
Yes, time freedom. Oh my gosh, yes. That is something that we never get back, right? That feeling of time, and to be able to go where we want to go and be able to work where we want to work. Here I am in Charleston, at this beautiful hotel, just to have some time this week to work on my book. So yeah, being able to do that gives you so much time and joy and freedom. I love that. So bring your son. I think your son is the one that you're still homeschooling, right?
Yep, 1 left.
Yeah.
5 down, 1 to go.
Oh my God, amazing. Have you been to Charleston? They've got an amazing historical piece here if you ever want to do some history on the South. It's really
I've never been to Charleston. It's a place I need to go. Well, I'll be in Savannah next week.
Oh my God, yay, I will see you.
Yes.
I actually get to give you a hug in person. Amazing. Fantastic. Awesome. Cool. Thank you for sharing. Who else would like to share? Andrea, or Andy, or Chris? Amanda? Oh, Nitya? Hala? Who would like to share? What would I?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, if my printer's loud. I can go on mute for someone else if it's bugging you. It's just trying to get the workshop done. Okay, so next year. So I am celebrating a 6-figure business. I have 5 VIP clients at an even higher number than I'm currently charging for my program. I've just hit 1,000 beautiful women in my free group, and I'm finally making enough profit in my business to hire another person and leave my corporate job.
Woo! Yes!
Consistently giving talks and speaking in summits to partner with other amazing coaches.
How does that feel? So give me some feelings that are attached to that. That sounds amazing. I'm excited when I hear that.
Like so much relief and pressure off is what it feels like. It just feels like I can't wait to get up in the morning and get to it kind of thing.
Relief. Yes. That's such a good one, right? Relief to not have to worry about where the money's coming, or relief not to have to worry about how am I going to pay the bills, or just relief to have, I like to use the word, relief to me also feels spacious. So the energy I like to be in is to feel spacious, to not feel contracted, worried, fearful, doubtful, but to feel more open and spacious.
So much less pressure from I need to be present in the corporate job, and I need to be present doing this, and there's not enough time in the day and all those things.
Yes, back to the time thing again, right? I got to wear this hat, and then I got to wear this hat, and I'm mom, and I'm wife, and I'm a business owner, and I'm employee, and I'm still trying to take care of myself. Yeah. One of the things that I'm committed to for all of my people, including myself, is to make sure that we get to build a successful 6-figure, multiple 6-figure, even 7 figures without sacrificing or trading that time. Also without trading our well-being. We get to be all in on our well-being or on integrity, right? I know for me, integrity is really important. Honesty, making sure that I'm following through and able to serve people from my heart is really important too. So amazing. Awesome. All right, I'm going to go ahead and move on here. I would love to hear from everybody, but I'm going to call on some of you the next time. So this is what we just went through. What does it look like for 1 year? Where are you at? Right now, we're going to dive into, now that we know what your vision is, we're going to take that and we're going to turn it into a plan for the next 90 days. And it's just not possible if we didn't know that big vision, right? We wanted to make sure that we would know kind of where we're going. And what we want to do is take a look at the next 90 days. And I want you to think about at the end of 90 days. So we would be looking at January, right? November, December, January, at the end of January. What would you like to have achieved by the end of that? And I want you to be realistic, right? If you're not making consistent income in your business right now, you're probably not going to make $100,000 at the end of 90 days. If you don't, so I want you to be realistic and laser focused around what would you love to celebrate? And I don't want it to be just in your comfort zone. So if you're already making some consistent income in your business, then I want you to stretch it. We want to be stretchy. We want to be in between the comfort zone and what I like to call is the bullshit zone. There's a bullshit zone, which is, I'm going to make $1 million in the next quarter. Well, that's probably not going to happen, although it could. Anything's possible in the quantum world. And chances are that's not going to be so realistic. So I want you to think about over the course of the next 90 days, where you are now, and stretch it. Where would you like to be? Where would you like to be? So first, we're going to give ourselves a dollar number of where you would like to be at the end of 90 days. It could also be a number of clients. That is also another great way. So here's where we want to pick something measurable, right? So this is where we want to pick a goal. We already know what it's going to feel like. Now we want to pick a goal of what actually is it? Do I want to create $30,000 in the next 90 days? Do I want to create $20,000? Do I want to create $10,000? Do I want to celebrate 5 new one-on-one clients, or 3 new one-on-one clients, or a full group of 20 people inside my group? Like, what is it that you would like to create here? And I want you to think about the next piece. Once you have that number, I want you to think about, what do you need to do to get there? What are some places that you have an opportunity to grow? We're going to take all of this, I promise, by the end of our session today, it's going to make sense. But think about, if you wanted to bring on 5 new one-on-one clients, what are some things, and I want you to brainstorm here. We're also going to talk about more ways. I'm going to give you some feedback on some other techniques and strategies and things, but I want you to start brainstorming here. What is it that you think you would need to do to get there? What are some inspired actions that you could take to bring on those 5 new one-on-one clients, or to fill your 6-week group program? And just brainstorm it. Most likely, it's not going to be around creating a new website, creating a font, creating a logo, getting branding photos. Those are not going to be income generating activities. So I want you to think about, what do you need to get there? And those are going to be income generating activities. And for those of you inside of Activate Abundance, we talk about building or attracting your ideal client, nurturing those relationships, and inviting people to work with you. So in Activate Abundance, since you know build, nurture, invite, take a look at those, and you can ask yourself, where do I need to grow? Do I need to grow in building my community, building my audience, creating visibility, getting in front of a client, getting in front of my potential clients? Do I need to grow in nurturing my community, building my community, creating more engagement with my community? Or maybe the last piece that might be missing are the invitations. Are you even making invitations? Are you inviting people to join you? Once you've served them and nurtured them, are you actually following up and inviting them into an offer? And we'll talk about offers today as well. So just think about all these pieces. What pieces might be missing? And you might be missing some in all 3, and that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with that. But we want to get really clear about where we can up level and take it up a notch. Because what you've been doing right now, if it's not creating income for you right now, it's not working. So we need to up it, and we need to say, okay, where do I have an opportunity to grow? Maybe I need to do more, be more visible, or maybe I just need to start being consistent and being visible, or maybe I just need to be visible, right? Maybe I need to, start really creating some engagement inside of my Facebook group, if you guys have your Facebook groups up. Maybe I need to actually reach out to people and to connect with them, just to connect. Maybe I need to actually invite them to work with me. That seems to be, the main piece that seems to be missing. If you're not creating the revenue in your business right now than you want, most likely it's going to come back to not being visible in front of the number of clients that you want, or the right clients, and not making the invitations or the offers. Awesome. So I would love for you guys to just share with me, where do you feel like you have an opportunity to grow here? What are some things that you know are going to help you to get to that 90-day goal, and an opportunity for you to stretch here? Andrea, I'm going to start with you, because I know kind of where you are.
You said all the words. Consistent. I need to be consistent. Consistent posts and videos in my group. Consistent invites into my program. Consistent posts and reels in social media. Participating in summits. I am participating in Comfort and Joy, and I'm so excited about that. Yes, it keeps me moving and motivated, and makes me update my freebie and all the things, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
All of these fall under visibility, which is beautiful.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. No, excellent. Excellent. Love that. And visibility and invitations. Fantastic. Yeah. And remember, you don't need to do all of these. So everything that you wrote down here, I want you to take a look at what can you be consistent with for the next 90 days? What can you be consistent with for the next 90 days? Because when we try to do too much, we end up doing nothing. I do too, by the way, y'all. Like if I have so much piled on my plate, that's when I'm like, yeah, probably not going to get done. So here I want you to think about what are some of the ideas that you wrote down for what you need to do to get there? Visibility, building your audience, nurturing them, inviting them. And what could you be consistent with over the next 90 days? Maybe you're picking one way that you're going to be consistent to build your visibility. And then one way that you want to be consistent in nurturing the people that are already in your ecosystem. And then being consistent with inviting people to work with you. And with that, we want to also give ourselves some numbers. What exactly does that consistency look like? Right, so we're taking it from a larger view, we're scaling it down into a smaller view. What does consistency look like to you? So if you want to be more visible, what does that look like? Is that one Facebook Live a week? Is it 4 posts a week? Is it a reel on Instagram? There are multiple ways. So Andrea, what would consistency look like for you for the visibility piece? Simple, simple. Like we're going to take all of those amazing ideas and just bring it back to the one that lights you up.
Yeah, I think there's probably 2. So the being consistently engaged and like creating engagement in my group,
Okay.
which I'm definitely working on anyway. And then being consistent in and visible and to invite people to the group, which is going to nurture them to more.
Perfect. Okay. So inviting, being visible, and how would you be visible to invite them into your group? Like let's talk about a specific action step there.
So I have just like ideas kind of thrown up there, like, yeah, one, I know. So just giving value online. And so a reel or a video once a week or a post once a week.
Perfect. So a video once a week and a post once a week.
Yep.
Excellent. Go ahead and write that down. That is how you're going to be consistency to attract your ideal client over the next 90 days. And if you want to do more, you can do more, but let's let this be the bare minimum so that you can stay consistent with that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then the nurturing piece where you said you wanted to, create engagement in your group, we also want to have an action step around there. So what would be one thing that you can focus on consistently over the course of the next 90 days for that?
Yeah, I think 1 post and 1 video a week in my group that's separate from the online.
Okay. Okay, awesome. Fantastic.
If I do more, I do more, but I think I can be consistent with 1 of each.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to start with baby steps. We want to start with just taking our stretching that 1%, right? So again, if we're not doing anything right now, because we've got, and again, Andrea, you are a perfect example of an entrepreneur. So if anybody else does have all of the ideas floating around, they're just like, but I could do this and this and this and this and this, and I see so-and-so doing this, and I see so-and-so doing this, and then you're just like so excited that you don't actually take action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're like, and I don't know which one is going to be the best. So let's just not do any, right? So it really is important that we just start somewhere and we're really, really clear. So instead of just saying, I'm going to be more visible. Okay, what does that look like? I want to create more engagement. Great. What does that look like? I want to, make more offers or make more invitations. Great. What does that look like specifically? So, for you, Andrea, getting really clear on that third piece, how many invitations would you like to make each week? Based on the relationships that you've been, nurturing. Again, we're not talking about cold calling here.
Right. No. So I think I'd like 1 per week into the group, like doing something to invite them into the group. And then as I get engagement, one invite to learn more or work with me in my group.
Okay, great. So 1 a week, 1 ask into your offer a week.
Yeah.
Can we up that just a little bit? I know it
Yep.
feels cheap, but can we up it? Because if you're only asking 1 person a week to work with you, it's just going to take a whole lot longer.
Yes, it is.
If you ask,
Well, once I get 1, I will up it to 3 a week.
okay,
Then I'll do that.
okay, because the more offers, right, the more offers you make, the more opportunity for the yeses, right? It's kind of
Yes.
like Michael Jordan, right? He's like,
Mhm.
he missed more shots than he actually made. But he was like one of the greatest basketball players ever, right? It's
Yeah.
because he just took a lot of shots. So this is where we get to be a stand for our client and be bold in asking them if they want support.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great, great. All right, let's pop down. Thank you, by the way, Andrea. I appreciate you. Thank you for letting me speak into the different ways. So let's tap into our programs and pricing, okay? So I know this feels a little backwards because we just talked about inviting people to work with us. Well, we do want to know what it is that we want to offer them into, right? It's like, all right, sure, I'm going to make offers, but what am I going to offer? We need to know what it is that we're offering. And here's what I teach inside of Activate Abundance. And that is we want to focus on 2 core main offers, just 2. You only need 2 core main offers in order to hit 6 figures. And when you keep it simple to 2 core main offers, then it is going to allow you to be really clear, really focused, and let it feel really, really simple to match the offer that is going to fit the client the best. Okay, so this is a little pyramid, and typically we have different offers. Now, when I'm talking about your core main offers, I'm not talking about your low tier offer, which is really the freebie thing or something, or the free stuff. I'm not talking about your free stuff. I'm not really talking about your lowest tier offer. I'll talk about those in just a minute. What I'm talking about here are your 2 core offers should come in the form of definitely let one of them be a top tier offer. And your top tier offer can look like a multitude of things, but it's really the most access to you. Okay. It's also going to be the highest price point. So that might look like one-on-one coaching with you. It also might look like a mastermind, a high tier level mastermind. It might look like a higher priced program in a group. Okay. So we want one top tier offer. And we want that offer to be a minimum of $2,000. Minimum, especially if we're looking at it as a 90-day program. Definitely you can have higher top tier offers. My top tier offer is 30,000. So you can have multiple top tier offers. But for somebody to work with me for a year one-on-one, that's my top tier offer. That's $30,000. So where you are in your business right now, if you want to create a 90-day offer or a 6-month offer, think about a 90-day offer being no less than $2,000. The market rate years ago, back in like 2017, was actually $3,000 for a 90-day program. So I just want you to know that even pricing it at $2,000, we have some room to grow, depending on your level of how long you've been in business and how many clients you've served and where you are in the comfort level of pricing your program. So I want you to think about what's your top tier offer. Is it a 3-month one-on-one? Is it a mastermind? Is it a high-end mastermind? Is it a combination of a group program? And then what do you want to price it at? What do you want to price it at? And if you're not sure what to price it at, or you're having a hard time with the pricing, I want you to think about 2 things. These are 2 secrets when you're pricing your programs here. One of them is, what would light you up? What would allow you to be like, I am so darn excited to show up for this client for this. Like, I feel really, really good. I feel excited. I feel like I'm able to give amazing value. It feels good to receive this. It feels good to give what I'm giving. So that you're not undercharging and you don't become resentful. Because here's the thing, when you undercharge for your time and you undercharge for the value, then what ends up happening is that you're actually going to feel resentful, which is going to put a kink in the hose of abundance and the hose of money. Because if you're feeling resentful because you know that you're undercharging, you're giving so much value, you're not going to attract more clients into your world. You're actually like putting a barrier. So it has to be a price that you're excited about showing up for. And then the second is, what would be a price that would allow your client to get the best value? It would be a price that, and when I say value, I mean that she would actually show up for the calls, right? Like she'd be like, hell yeah, I'm all in. I'm going to show up for the calls. I'm excited to do this work as well, right? So think about that. You know, if you're only charging $50 a session, they may or may not show up. And you may feel like, oh my God, I got this call today, right? Can you see how that's out of alignment for the benefit of both of you? You're not going to be as powerful as a coach when you are feeling resentful in your pricing and undercharging. And they're also not going to feel excited about actually showing up for the investment that they're making, because they're making the investment in themselves. They're not making the investment in you. And sometimes that investment, that very first investment, is the game changer for them getting their results. Because when they invest in themselves, they're seeing themselves as valuable, they're seeing themselves as worthy, and they're like, yep, and I'm going all in for this. Which means that they're going to get their results, right? Yeah. So top tier offer, and then pick one, either a high tier offer or a mid tier offer. You don't need both of them. I'm just giving you some examples. So a mid tier offer could look like a 6-week group program, a short one-on-one package, a course. Typically, it's something where the price point is around $1,000 or under. Now, here's what I want to say about a course or a membership. And those of you inside of Activate Abundance know that I feel really strongly about this. This is not where you want to start your business. You do not want to start with just offering a course or a membership. And the reason why is because lower priced courses, you need to have a larger exposure. You need to have a large audience in order for you to create 6 figures with that. You need to sell a whole lot more of them, right? If you're trying to sell $1,000 courses, amazing, but how many of those do you need to sell every single month? Which means that you need to get in front of enough people, and you need to have visibility, which means you need to have an audience, which means you had to have an audience of know, like, trust. So if you don't have that big audience of know, like, trust yet, hold off on the courses until later on in your business. Wait until after you've already hit 6 figures. Wait until after you've already even hit $250,000. And then you can add that other course piece. A high mid-tier offer might look like a 3 to 6 month group program. So think about a 3 to 6 month group program where you're serving clients in maybe even a hybrid, right? So Activate Abundance for me is a high mid-tier offer. It's actually a 12-month program, but it's a group program, and it is also a hybrid because it has some one-on-one access to me. And I'm not going to dive into the low tier offer yet because I want to dive into the free stuff, the emails, the blogs, the downloads, the video content, the resources, the PDFs, the workshops, trainings, webinars. That piece is where you're creating visibility and where you're attracting your ideal client. So even though that doesn't have a dollar amount on it that you're charging for, it is a really important part of your profit plan. Because if you do not have a way to build know, like, trust with people out in the world through these avenues, think about this as just a doorway with which they get to have an experience of you, right? So for example, this is a doorway right now. You guys are experiencing, a free training on how to create a 90-day profit plan. So this would be a workshop, training, webinar, okay? And that is something that I cover more of. As a matter of fact, we spend an entire pillar inside of attracting our ideal client inside of Activate Abundance. And I don't have enough time to go into that today. All right, so you picked your offer, one core offer. What's your top tier offer? And then pick your second core offer, either your high tier or your middle tier offer. What's the price point? So I want you to decide what it is. What is the type? Is it one-on-one? Is it a mastermind? Is it a hybrid? What's the price point? And what is the end result? What do they get to walk away with? We call this a promise. We call this a program promise. Okay, maybe, and again, a promise is not a guarantee. A promise is not a guarantee. A promise is when they show up to work with you, what is predictable? What is the result that they are predictable to walk away with? If they show up and they implement the pieces, what do they get to walk away with? Maybe they get to walk away with feeling so incredibly confident in their body, right? Tara, helping women with mindset and overcoming and having a better relationship with their bodies around food. Yeah. Maybe, they get to walk away with lower numbers in their A1C numbers, or they're not having sugar spikes anymore, or maybe they're sleeping better, right? So think about what do they get to walk away with? And you're going to do that with those two offers. What do they walk away with? And then we also want to take a look at where's your ideal client hanging out. Okay, so this all goes back to, by the way, this 90-day profit plan. We create this after we already know who it is that we're serving. So if you don't know who you're serving, if you don't have a specific, and I'm talking about one main ideal client that you already know it is that you're serving, then that's something that is a foundational piece that you need to get support around. And again, inside of my Activate Abundance program, that's where we start. Well, first, we start with owning our value and our worth, and then we go into who is our ideal client. Okay. We also work on what is your signature framework. So what's your framework that you are known for? And again, if you don't have a signature framework, you can also think about this as a pathway or a proprietary process. That is also something that you want to do. Why? Because people invest in processes, and you want to have a process-based business, not a personality-based business. And let me explain what the difference is. One is come work with me because I'm just so amazing. That's a personality-based business. The other one is come work with me because I have a series of steps. I have a proven process that I'm going to walk you through so that you know what to do, when to do, how to do it to get this result. Okay. People want processes. Structure, by the way, Tracy mentioned this yesterday in her comments, so I just want to give credit to her. She helps women with lowering anxiety and also helping to soften the nervous system, right? Structure creates peace, certainty, and calmness. So when you have a process or a structure or a framework that you take your clients through, that is also going to create confidence in the person versus, oh, I'm just going to work with so-and-so because she looks amazing. Right? So we want to make it a process driven. Again, this is something that we teach inside of the Activate Abundance program. And then the other thing we want to think about are what skills, talents, gifts, modalities, tools do you use in your work that might be very different from somebody else, right? So Tara, one of the ways that you help your client that is different from a regular health coach is mindfulness, is breath work, right? So this is where you get to just brainstorm, what are some things that you really love to do? And this is love to do. These are things that light you up. These are not things that you feel like, oh, I should really do this. These are things that you love to do. For me, I am all about community, connections, collaborations. I love to have access with my people. That's what makes me very, very different than, typically group programs. You don't have access to the actual coach one-on-one. You do with me because I want to get to know my people. It's really, really important for me to know my people, to know your business, to have my eyes, ears, and my heart on what it is that you've got going on. That's what makes me a little bit different. What else makes me different is that I am 100% all in and committed to making sure that you get to do this in a way that feels authentic to you, and also in a way that you don't have to sacrifice your time, your well-being, or your integrity. Right? So it's a heart-centered way that we're actually cultivating relationships. It's a combination of both the feminine, the yin, the energy, the serving, the nurturing, along with the yang of the strategy and the support structures that you need to create a business. Now let's create your roadmap. So if you don't have this printed out, no problem, just write it on a piece of paper. For this next quarter, you already picked what your revenue goal was. So this is Q4. I know we're going into a little bit into Q1, but that's okay. What's your revenue goal? What do you want to make? What do you want to bring in? Now we want to reverse engineer it. In order to hit that goal, how many of your high tier offers, your mid-tier offer, or then pick one other one because we're going with 2 core main offers out of these. How many do you need to sell? What's the price point? And how many would you need to sell in order to hit that dollar amount? This is super important. This is the clarity piece. This is where if we don't know how many we need to sell, if we know that we want to create, $10,000 in the next 90 days, but we don't know exactly how many people, one-on-one clients we need to work with, or we don't know how many people in our small group program we want to invite into, then we're going to be just kind of struggling and kind of like not feeling focused and clear and confident. So this is going to give you that structure. This is giving you your map so that you can feel focused, clear, and confident over the course of the next 90 days. How many one-on-one high-tier offers? And then your other core main offer, and then what's the price? And that'll give you your projected income. It might surprise you. You might actually need less than you think. Right? Who needs some support around this? Does anybody need some support around this piece? If you can go ahead and come off mute, because I don't have access to see everybody since I'm sharing my screen.
Hey, good morning, Chris.
Hi.
This is Tracy.
Hey, Tracy.
So when I look at like my high tier offer, one-on-one coaching, and a pay in full for that is $24.97. If I sell 6 of those, then that brings me to about 15K.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Then when I look at like my group program, like for level 2 of the Bliss method, that's coming up. I'd have to like really fill that very full of people, more people than I'd want in my group. So do I just then add another one-on-one client in so that I can take that up to like 17,500?
Well, what was your a high end up? What was your quarterly number that you wanted to go for?
20,000.
20. Okay, great. And so you're at 15 with your one-on-one. So there's a couple things that you can do here, Tracy. Number one, you raise your one-on-one rate, which is an option. You can raise your rates. The other option is you raise the price on your group program. The other option is you take another client or 2, and you're like, oh, okay, well, in order for me to hit 20, I actually need to work with 8 one-on-one clients instead of just 6.
Okay. I just, when you said raise the rate on my group program, that's what set a light off in my head. So I think that's what it is.
Awesome. Awesome. The other thing that you can do here too, Tracy, is if there's a gap, and for those of you, this works for everybody too. If there's a gap, like if you're like, you know what, I really don't want to take any more in this group program. I really feel good about my pricing here. If there's a gap in it, then either you get to lower what you want to make because numbers are numbers, or this is where you can also take a look at, is there something outside of your 2 core main offers that you might want to do just temporarily. Like maybe you want to invite somebody to work with you in a VIP day, right? Is there another offer out there to kind of make up the gap there? But that's not your 2 core main offers to get you to 6 figures. So just know that if your 2 core main offers are not going to get you to 6 figures, then something needs to change in either the number of people that you're serving or the dollar amount. Because you really want to get to 6 figures with just those 2. So that's going to help you stay in alignment also with your pricing. Yeah, that also might be, Tracy, that you could just say, and you've got like a VIP option. Somebody can in your group program could work with you in a one-on-one capacity for that time at a VIP rate, and that could also fill in the gap. So you're not changing any of your offers. You're just kind of adding a little bonus to the people that are already working with you. How does that feel, Trace?
I love that idea. Right? Even like with the VIP day, I think that there are actually a couple people in my world right now, like I'm just thinking that they could really use that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that's a good plan.
Yeah, so I always have, and this is something to consider, that 30% of the people that are working with you, whether they're working with you in your group program or a one-on-one program, or, it doesn't really matter how they're working with you, but 30% of them are going to want to continue to work with you in a certain way. And so it's so much easier to continue to work with the people that you've already developed know, like, trust with, you already know them, you've got a connection with them, into something else that might support them. And I'm not saying we're just creating offers to just kind of get people money. I'm saying that they're, maybe in the group program, there's somebody that could really benefit from having one-on-one support with you. I know many clients inside of my Activate Abundance program, they want more one-on-one support. And so there is an option for them. If they want more one-on-one support, then there's an option for them to do that. Yeah. Awesome. Anybody else need support around this piece? And I'll need you to come off mute because I can't see if you're raising your hand.
Thanks, Chris. For a VIP day, then I could charge, like, if my one-on-one rates are at about $2,500 for a VIP day, if I charged $1,500, would that be a fair?
Absolutely. And again, I want you to check in with the number that would feel really, really good to you as well. Like, how would you feel in a VIP day where, and again, think about what you want to create in your VIP day offer too.
Okay.
So, it depends. The price is going to depend on what is included, right? Are there accommodations that you need to provide them for? Are you paying for lunch and dinner? Are you adding in something extra like a massage, or, paying for something else? Are you gifting them anything that is going to support them in that VIP day? And remember, the benefit of a VIP day is that you get to collapse the timeline with somebody very, very quickly. You can get a lot done very, very quickly in a VIP day. And that's really why the investment is higher in a VIP day, because you've got access to somebody all in for a chunk of time, like all in. And it's you and them one-on-one for 6 hours. You could also do a half-day VIP day too, Tracy, like you and I had done. Option too.
Right.
But it depends, again, what do they want to walk away with? What is the result? You also might want to take a look at if you want to do a VIP day as part of this. And look, many people use VIP days as part of their 6-figure business model as well. Multiple 6-figure, 7-figure business model. So if this is something that sounds like you want to do, this is absolutely an option. But, think about, are you going to have time before the day for like an hour to figure out what it is that they want to work on? Is there time after? Again, there's no right or wrong here. I'm just giving you different things to think about so that you can decide what you actually want to include it, because that really is going to affect the price. Think about it. It's if you're paying somebody If somebody's coming in to spend a day with you and you're paying for their hotel and their meals and they get a massage and you have an hour session before and they have access to you for another hour session later or 30 days Voxer access to you, chances are you're probably going to want to charge more than $1,400 for all of that.
Okay.
Right?
Oh yeah, because you're saying that we would then be, well, we would be paying for their massage or whatever we threw in. Okay. All right. And we could expense that off then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Expense for sure.
All right,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. So think about, what do you want to walk away with? So after the VIP day is over, what would 6 hours of your time be worth to you? What do you want to walk away with that? So that's a place to kind of start thinking about that there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. So good. Love talking about this. Love talking about this.
I have a quick question
Yes.
about VIP days, because I've been thinking about this since I started with you.
Mhm.
But as a nutritionist, how does that work? Because, you know, I work with people and I'm seeing the progress,
Mhm.
you know, and I'm adjusting based on how they are working with the diet, how they are working with the supplements.
Yeah.
So how would that VIP day
Yeah.
work for a nutritional client?
Yeah, that is something, Andy, that I would need to have a private conversation with you on, because that is
Okay.
really, really specific to you, your ideal client, and your business, and it's just out of the scope of the time that we have here.
Okay.
I would absolutely.
Is it possible?
Absolutely.
Okay. I just wanted to know that. That is.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, totally. Absolutely.
Okay.
I used to do them as well. Yeah. And I was, you know, functional nutritional therapy practitioner.
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. I definitely make an appointment. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll dive in and we'll get all that taken care of. And for those of you inside of Activate Abundance, if you want to do a special training on VIP days, let me know. We can even do a special group training in one of our sessions. We'll just add that in. Awesome. All right. So let's dive into now the quarter. So again, we're going to kind of piece all this together. This is your quarter 4. The measurable outcome that you're creating for this quarter is, that's the dollar amount. The experience that you want to create at the end of the 90 days is, you want to feel excited, confident, joyful, free, spacious, relieved, relaxed, peaceful, calm, right? That's the experience. And then we want to think about the methods, right? What are the methods? This is where we're jumping back into strategy here. What are the methods that you'll use to serve your ideal clients, provide them with an experience of you and your business? Okay, so again, what are the ways that you are going to build your audience and nurture them? Build and nurture. Think about a virtual challenge, a nurture event like I'm doing today, a workshop or a training, a Facebook Live even, right? So those are more events, methods that you are going to serve your clients, because we get to do this from a heart-centered service place first. People will not invest with you unless they have an experience of you first. There has to be no like trust built first. There has to be an emotional experience happening before anybody will invest with you. And then think about the ways that you are also going to connect with new potential clients. So again, this is also with the visibility piece. So one is, how do I serve people that are in my ecosystem? Another one is, how can I also connect with them? Maybe that is, daily social media posts in your Facebook group. It could also be one-on-one messages in a DM. But here's what I'm not talking about cold calling or spamming people with DMs. I'm talking about people that already have an experience of you, that are already in your group, that already know who it is that you are. That's very different than just spamming somebody and saying, hey, do you want to, buy my thing? No, we're talking about creating relationships. This is a high-touch, heart-centered, relationship-driven business model. And this is what people are looking for. So let me just share that this is what makes all the difference in the world here. This is not bro marketing. This is not aggressive sales tactics. This is not playing on people's fears. This is not trying to drag anybody across the finish line. This is really connecting with people, communicating with people, letting people know that they feel seen, heard, and valued. You can also, do this in the form of online collaborations, like Tracy and Andrea was talking about with the Comfort and Joy Summit. Members inside of the Activate Abundance community are getting together to put on a summit so that they are leveraging each other's audiences. Amazing. And you get to do that, and it's fun, and it's connecting. Yeah. And then you want to take a look at creating this as your weekly recipe. So again, earlier you had an example of me coaching Andrea on what are some of the things that you're going to do to build your audience, nurture your audience, invite people to work with them, right? You want to have a weekly plan, a weekly recipe, picking one way that you're going to consistently show up and be visible, one way that you're consistently nurturing your audience, and one way that you're consistently inviting people to work with you. Now, some of you may want support around doing something like a masterclass or workshop or a nurture event. Many of you inside of Activate Abundance have already learned that, and that is what you're doing to both build your audience, nurture your audience, and invite people to work with you. I love doing nurture events. Typically, I will do a multi-day event, workshop, masterclass, training, challenge, whatever you want to call it, typically anywhere from 3 to 5 days, once a quarter. So for me, every 90 days, I know that I'm going to fit in an event where I get to serve incredible value and nurture people. And then every month, I also know that I'm going to do something like this, where I have a specific topic that I know is going to be really valuable to my clients. And this is something that I teach inside of the Activate Abundance program. And then I want you to take a look and cross-check with these actions that you are committed to taking for the next 90 days. Will taking consistent action result in you having the experience and the measure? Remember, if you're getting the measure, if you're making the money, but you're feeling exhausted and depleted and you're undercharging and you're feeling resentful, that's not in alignment with the experience, right? If you're overworking, if you have too many clients, and not enough time and energy and resources necessary to achieve that, then we get to switch that up. So ask yourself, do you have the time, energy, and resources necessary to hit this goal within this next 90 days, right? So for Tracy, we were talking about 6 to 8 one-on-one clients. And so she would ask herself, do I have the capacity to work with a maximum of 8 one-on-one clients over the course of this time period? If the answer is yes, amazing. If the answer is no, then something needs to be shifted. Either pricing needs to go up or the number of people that you're serving goes down. And again, there's no right or wrong here. There's no right or wrong number here. It is all based on you, right? One of my clients, many of you guys know Margaret, right? Margaret wants to work two days a week. Amazing. So that means that she has a limit on the number of one-on-one clients she's going to work with, but she also focuses on a group experience to help her create that income level. So think about, does your goal align with your priorities? Is it going to give you the time and where you want to put your attention and energy? And if not, you get to just know that. It's like, this is how we pivot, right? What needs to be changed? What needs to be added or removed from your daily or weekly action plan? Great. Now, we're going to take all of this, we're going to finish up here, and you're going to put what you've done and you want to prioritize it. And when we think about milestones are things that we want to hit within the next 90 days. So for example, a milestone for you, Andrea, might be a certain number of invitations, right? The first milestone might be 10 invitations to work with me. Another milestone might be increasing my Facebook group by 50 people. Another milestone might be complete a one-day training by a certain date. Another milestone might be reach out and just connect with people. So how many would you want to do that? You know, maybe it would be 3 a day. Just connecting with 3 people a day, Monday through Friday, takes less than 15 minutes. Maybe it's to reach out to 100 people. Maybe it is to collaborate with somebody. Like there's multiple milestones that you can choose. I'm just giving you some examples here. Okay. And this is key. You are going to want to chase some bright, shiny objects. In the meantime, you have to double down on your commitment to follow through with what it is that you said that you're going to do, and keep things simple and avoid getting distracted by shiny object syndrome. The system and the process works if you work it consistently, and you really want to avoid the temptation to add lots of things to your list and working on more goals than what you've defined above. Okay, because otherwise you're going to feel overwhelmed. It's going to feel exhausting. You're going to feel confused. You're not going to be really clear and focused. And for 90 days, I want you to go clear, simple, focused. All roads are going to lead to your 2 core main offers. All roads lead to your 2 core main offers. So whatever it is that you are going to do and put down as your priority is going to lead to those 2 core main offers. And again, we're talking about creating profit in your business here. So that's why it's called a 90-day profit plan. Awesome.
Chris?
Yep.
I have a quick question on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my 2 main offers. When you said that, it kind of struck a light, and I'm just all roads lead to Rome, right? Just all those roads lead to your 2 core main offers. But I'm almost feeling like I want to do something different with my core main offers, but I know I should be focusing on the ones that I have. This is the shiny object syndrome.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, absolutely. So this is where we're like, you know what? For now, for the next 90 days, this is what I'm committing to. For the next 90 days, this is what I'm committing to. That shiny object over here, what ends up happening is that every time we create something new, we actually start back to square one again, because every offer is going to serve a different ideal client. So that means we are going to have to figure out, where is this ideal client? We have to go through the whole process again in order to find her, which means that it's bifurcating your energy from what is going to help you to create the 6 figures. It doesn't mean that you can't add that in later, right? Like maybe you're like, you know what? I really want to add this piece, but for now, these are my 2 core main offers. This is what I'm going to focus on. This is what I'm committed to just for the 90 days. I'm going to see how this 90-day goes. See where, you know, at the end of it, you know, you and I are going to have a conversation, or we'll be like, all right, like what worked? What was amazing? What did you love? And then we also get to have support in pivoting and tweaking. So maybe this other offer that you have here is something that we add in later.
Thank
But
you.
if we have too much going on, then the other thing that happens is people don't know how they can work with you. If we have too much going on, then people aren't really sure what you're doing. And so we want to have a simple, cohesive message when you're showing up. People will buy based on repetition. So when you're talking about your 2 core main offers over and over and over and over and over again, people are going to know you for that, right? People know me for Activate Abundance. Like, that's my signature program. This is what I talk about over and over and over again. All roads lead to Activate Abundance for me. Okay, so when we talk about our process in our core main offer, then, and when we're being visible, when we're sharing, when we're giving value, right, then people begin to know you for your process and for your signature offer.
Great, that's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, they're like, wait, I thought she was doing this thing over here. Wait, I thought she was doing this thing over here. Like, I don't know. And so it's going to build know, like, trust a lot quicker when people know what you stand for. So, you know, one of the things that, you know, I share with my clients is we get to focus on the power of one. Even though we have 2 core main offers, we're focusing on 1 main ideal client. We're focusing on 1 main social media platform. And for me, it's Facebook. Get one going really, really good, because Facebook just groups the best. They do connection, they do collaborations, they do community the best. Okay, so finding, and that's where my ideal client is, right? So one main ideal client, one main platform, and then going all in for a period of time and really, really focusing and keeping it simple. So here's a little daily planner that you can focus on. Your top 3 priorities are going to be priorities that are going to help propel you towards your goal. So think of these as your action steps. What are your top 3 priorities that you are going to do today or within the next 24 hours that are going to propel you towards that 90-day goal? Again, maybe one of them is reaching out to 3 people today. Maybe one of them is, I'm going to reach out and see if somebody would like to do a Facebook swap with me so I can create more visibility. Maybe it's, I'm going to invite 1 person to work with me today or 2 people to work with me today. But those action steps, your top 3 priorities, those you have to double down on. Those are your foundational pieces, and they must fit underneath the build, nurture, and invite categories. Again, branding photos, tweaking a website, redoing a handout, you know, all of those things are things that are actually distractions. Now I'm not saying that you don't create a handout for a freebie. If that is one of your priorities because it's going to help you increase your audience, beautiful. That would definitely fall in it. Cool. And then here's also a weekly planner for you too. So now, this last piece that I want to share here this is when we think about creating a business blueprint, these are the different pieces of the pie that we focus on. Number 1 is always going to be our mindset. Number 2, we've actually talked about it today, just haven't used the word marketing. Visibility, building your audience, attracting your ideal client, nurturing them, that all falls into marketing. Sales, do you have a sales system and process? For those of you that are working with me in Activate Abundance, our nurture events, our workshops are our sales process. How are you making sales? Do you know who your ideal client is? Do you have your pricing dialed in? Your programs, 2 main offers, your signature framework, and your unique brilliance, what makes you special. So we covered all of this today. Holy cow. Surprise, surprise. We talked about being visible. We talked about inviting people to, and how to invite people to make sales with you. We talked about, now we didn't quite go in depth to the ideal client. We did your pricing, we did your program. We talked about the importance of a framework. We talked about how can you be different in the world so that you can own your unique brilliance in the way that you serve your clients. Okay, so here's your to-do list. I want you to think about 3 action steps that you are committing to take action on within the next 48 hours. Why 48 hours? Because 48 hours is proven, we've got statistics out there, that when you take action within 48 hours, you are 80% more likely to follow through on that. If you wait until after 48 hours, chances are the results that you get from it actually drop to like 30%. So when you commit to taking action within the next 48 hours, you are going to be in momentum. So 3 things that you are going to take action on within the next 48 hours. And keep them simple. Keep them simple. Think about what it is that we talked about today. Maybe one action is, I really want to dial in on my pricing. Maybe another action is, I want to double down on what I'm deciding my core offers are. Maybe another action might be, you know what, I want to show up in my Facebook group, or I want to even get a Facebook group started so I can start cultivating connections and community. Whatever that is for you. Remember, your heart, mind, and soul get to go into the smallest acts. This is the secret of success. You are all here because you're heart-centered entrepreneur. which means we get to put our heart, our soul into what it is that we're doing. This is actually a quote by Swami Sivananda. Your heart, mind, and soul go into your smallest acts. How amazing is that? I hope this is actually really refreshing to know that you get to create a powerful, impactful, well-paid business by doing what it is that you love to do, which is to put your heart, mind, and soul into things. You don't have to be that pro marketer. You don't have to learn a new aggressive sales tactic. I promise you, you do not need to do that. Awesome. So I'm going to stop the share here. And, oh, thank you, Jen. I love you. Here's the thing I want you to do. For those of you who are not yet working with me inside of Activate Abundance, I want you to go ahead and schedule a clarity call with me. And we will chat about which one of these pieces you might need support on and whether or not Activate Abundance might be a good fit for you. Now, for as much as I would absolutely love to invite all of you into Activate Abundance right now, our email system is down and our links aren't working, so I can't do that. But what I can do is I can invite you into a clarity call with me. So let me go ahead and grab that link for those of you that might want a 20-minute clarity call. We'll pick one piece of what we talked about today. And the other thing that I wanted to invite you all into is part of this clarity call, we can also make your six-figure business blueprint. So at the very beginning of this session, I told everybody that because you're here today, I am gifting a 2023 Create Your Six-Figure Blueprint for 2023. So everybody gets that one-on-one session with me to create their 2023 six-figure blueprint session with me. And so that is something that we're going to send out to everybody that's here. We know everybody who showed up live here, so we will send that out, that link to you directly. Yes, Amanda, you're so welcome. Oh, I'm so glad that this worked for you. So we're going to send that out to you. That way you guys can book that call with me and we will get you locked and loaded for 2023. All right. Tell me what your takeaways are. Let me know. I want to hear. What are you walking away with that feels really good to you today?
I think keeping it simple is, and I know it, but when you say it and I remind myself, no shiny objects, no hiding, be visible and keep it simple. I think that's great.
Awesome. Yeah. So simplicity feels really good. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, amen, sister. Yeah. What else are you walking away with? Mars.
Feeling confident in reaching out, making those invitations, because if I'm not doing it, no one else is doing it. So
Absolutely. Love it. Yeah. We get to offer people a way out of their pain. The truth is, people need you right now. People need your services right now, not when you are feeling amazingly confident and inviting them to work with you, right? Here's the thing, confidence grows the more you do it. Confidence grows the more you do it, right? So I actually invited those of you who are not working with me right now into Activate Abundance. That was just a very simple heart-centered offer. Like, hey, if you want my support implementing the pieces so that you can have a six-figure business without compromising your time, without trading your integrity or your well-being, I'm happy to support you in that. We'll see if it's a good fit. It can be as simple as that. It can be as simple as that. Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Jen. Tracy, what are you walking away with?
I am walking away with this bigger, like, understanding around creating a VIP day.
Awesome.
And I think that sounds exciting.
Yay. Awesome. Yes. And again, for those of you inside of Activate Abundance, we'll schedule a training on VIP days. Sounds like that's something that
Thanks,
would
Chris.
support you all. Yeah, totally. Anybody else want to share? I don't know if Sarah's still here, Jen, Hala. All right. Oh, there she is. Hey, lovely.
I'll jump on really quick. Hi, beautifuls. So
Amen.
I just wanted to jump on and say that Chris was my coach for a couple of years and that we are still working together in some capacity. And she helped me build my 6-figure business. And now I'm working on building a 7-figure, or a multi-6-figure business so that next year I can get to a 7-figure business. And I just want to say that the things that
Celebrate that for just a minute. Like, we don't have to, like, we get to celebrate that. Holy shit, girl. Amazing.
Thank you. And I got to say, like, when I came into this and I started working with Chris, it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, she makes it sound so easy. But it, like, if you really do keep it simple and stay away from the shiny objects, like I am a squirreler, right? Squirrel. And it is so easy for me to, I think the biggest thing that I took from Chris is stop recreating the wheel. And something that I had a tendency to do the entire time we worked together was make another program, make another class, make another, thing to do, to offer, because for whatever reason, I could not just stick to the one thing. And I think that ever since I finally like doubled down on my one piece and I worked that piece until it's dead, and then I create a new piece based off of the shift that I had to make off the original one. And so I think that if I had anything to say about this whole thing is it really, like Andrea said, keep it simple, because when we try and get too what's the word, like extravagant with stuff, and we try to use all these big fancy words and we try to over explain everything, I think that it actually turns our potential clients away. And
Yeah.
so the best advice, you talk like you're talking to a 4th grader, your ideal 4th grader, and keep it simple. And I have had so much success from just running the one thing and then rerunning the one thing and then rerunning the one thing. And so, I feel like I kept trying to make it all these things that we had to do. And so this was just such a good reminder that, like, make your game plan and stick to it. Stop veering, and I think I needed that reminder today.
Yay! I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here today. So good to see you. It was such a nice surprise. Yeah. And look, I have
need a little Chris reboot.
We all have, again, that's one of the amazing things of being an entrepreneur, is that we've got ideas. We're visionaries, right? We're like, oh, and I could do this and this, and I could change the world this way, and I could do this, that, and the other thing. So it's not a bad thing. It's just that we have to rein it in and go all in on one main thing and stay focused so that the follow through happens, so the results happen. Otherwise, again, we bifurcate our energy in so many different ways that nothing ever lands. It's like very surface. We don't actually get to go deeper into, what we're focused on creating.
Yeah, you called it deeper, not wider. And I had a tendency to want to spread my roots out, and it's like, but then you're not really, you're not deep in the ground. You're not like rooted. You're not, it's just, someone could tip you over, and it's just because there's no surface, or it's only surface roots.
Yeah.
So it really was, and like really diving back into something that happened recently was I went back in at Sarah's suggestion, go back in. Go reach out to all the old clients that you haven't talked to in forever, that have been like, quiet, and people that have originally reached out to you that maybe haven't in a while. Like, go dig around, find the people, go deeper, and maybe the people that, and it's true, because now the people that I've already worked with are coming and showing back up for my masterclasses because they need a gen refresh, and it's like, okay, all right, so this is working. Like, it really is, like, you do the one thing and then you continue to do the one thing, and then that has its own like freeway exit, you know what I mean? And then you create a new freeway exit once that has its own traffic already going and already established. And then once that's self-sufficient, and there's a routine or program or strategy in place there, now I'm able to move on to the next strategy.
Yes, thank you for speaking into that, Jen, because that is what I meant when I said that about 30% of the people that work with you are going to continue to work with you, right? So even though they might not renew right away, but they've already had an experience of you. They've already had no like trust with you. It's so much easier to reach out to those people than it is to try to create a whole nother new, series of clients, right? So don't underestimate the value that you have with people that have had an experience with you already. Give them an opportunity to work with you. Give them and maybe in a different way, right? Either work with you again if you're inviting them into one-on-one because they're different people and you're at a different stage too. Or, maybe you're like, oh, this would be really fun. I'd like to do this thing. And, I could invite people in.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, thank you. All right, ladies, I hope you have an amazing day. We're going to pop off. I really appreciate your time. Again, be on the lookout for the link for building your 6-figure blueprint for 2023. My gift to you for being here today live with me, even in the midst of all the crazy internet stuff that's going on. And I will see you guys soon. Mwah. Love ya.